What's good, y'all? We're gonna talk about why you give the world hope, chosen one. Yes, you. So, before I talk about this, y'all, I would like to say I appreciate you for dropping in and seeing what I got to speak on. Not everybody's gonna fuck with you in this world, y'all. This world has created a lot of separation, and I'm just here to get simple and like-minded, brains to see life on maybe what it could be potentially instead of, them trying to, you know, dilate or dilute our species, yo. This world, it ain't what it used to be, yo. You know, the more shit that's being pushed out, whether it's AI, whether it's, like I say, these fucking devices in front of us, you know, it's all a tactic to get you to, forget the bigger picture, y'all. What is the bigger picture? It's about elevating. It's about choosing to live instead of choosing to be still, you know? So, this is why I say that you give the world hope around you, especially you, chosen one, because you have an ability that not everybody has. What's your ability? The ability to see through and to still persevere. Not everybody thinks like you. They're stuck figuring where they're supposed to be at, or they might be, stuck on dopamine hits. They might be chasing and not, creating. And that's what the world, is choosing you and is sticking with you because, the world is forever endlessly creating, yo. That's what the world is never, in one place, yo. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the sun is out, sometimes it ain't. But that just shows you everything consists of, being active. Now you don't think like everybody else, y'all. That's why, there's so many people or eyes on you, y'all, because the way you think not only inspires people, but it gets them to look at life in a different kind of spectrum, y'all. Let's just say the world is being constantly polluted, or you're against that, and you just don't like how the world is treated because you don't like, how you were once treated. You don't care now. That's why, you're never stagnant. You're more so, advancing with patience. But, that's what you should be doing, especially if you are aware of this now, y'all. Your goal should be purpose and helping the world advance and evolve because, it's upon you and your species, y'all. Not everybody sees life like you, y'all. Everybody don't want to elevate, y'all. Some people want to live in that comfort. And that's why I say, not everybody's destined for greatness, y'all. Only maybe 1% of, the population you may be around is actually gonna win. Not because they're, active, but because they see it and they don't give up. It doesn't matter what you do. You must have a strong reason why you are doing something, And I'm gonna remind you on that because if you don't, well, you're never gonna see the end of that light because you're gonna stop or you're gonna forget what you were doing along the journey, So I remind you, chosen one, you have a strong mission to fulfill. I'm just reminding you that not, everybody else is gonna choose this path. They're against your mission and against you. That's why you've been singled out your whole life, or that's why it might seem like the difficulty out here is on high because they know that you're the one who can actually succeed in doing this shit that you are, called for. So I ask your chosen ones, what are y'all gonna do? Are y'all gonna destroy the world by destroying yourself? Or are you gonna raise the world in frequency with living in peace and choosing silence instead of, like I say, validation that serves no purpose? It's not about just living externally, y'all. It's about living in all realms and mastering all ways of seeing life. Because once you do that, y'all, well then the power of manifestation is in your hands. So, it's something to think about, chosen one. This shit might seem confusing, but it's really not, yo. Once you study your reality and once you choose peace, yo, 95% of men who are loners, yo, well, let's just say it's not them that are necessarily born, but the women, that they're not attracting, they see life totally different. That's exactly why, it's not your fault you didn't find the right one. You haven't been around her yet, yo. That's exactly why, you are pulled away from each other. Because y'all see life differently, yo. Relationships don't go off of how y'all get along or how strong the relationship and polarity is. No, it's about vibration and it will always be that way. So it doesn't matter if this was your blood relative or, if y'all once knew each other for years. It don't matter, yo. If your frequency is slightly higher or hers is, well, it might not work for the fact that one is choosing organicness and the other one is choosing false scenario illusions, yo. So, while you might be infatuated with love, this other person might be infatuated with growth, and you can't get this if you're not on the right vibration for the realm, But my vibration is about healing and reminding you that you're more than this flesh right here, yo. This flesh is just how you are, shown or, remembered. But you are true energy, the energy that is speaking through this vessel, or just, the person in control. That's who you are, yo. That's who, is in position always, yo. And you're never getting, true freedom because, you can only be shown through your body, yo. So people know you based on your avatar, but not the true inner you, because you're someone who you walk into bodies, yo, and you function and you control your outer reality, yo. So you could consider to walk in, until you leave this realm and go into your next vessel. Because this world, it works on reincarnation. So no matter how many times you die or get reborn, you're always gonna have constant lifetime after lifetime, yo, to study or to learn something. So that's why I remind you, man. The world doesn't depend on you because you're the only percent for the world, yo. Not everybody is gonna be able to help the world because they're craving destruction. You're not. You want everything to go back to how it once was, which was a peaceful life, which was something that not is seen when you are going somewhere, This world now is in disconnect, yo. You're trying to connect it back to, like I say, the software. You can't do it alone, but you can still do it though, because as long as you believe that you are doing it, you don't need nobody else, yo. That's the power of belief. But this was a video, and this is why I say that, the world needs you more than you might know, because without your imprint, well, the world couldn't be better, Just the way you think, yo, impacts the world around you, yo, because you are a piece of the world, yo. That's what people tell you to come outside, or they will tell you to ground, or they will tell you to just go take a hike, because it's because you are connected to things outside of you, yo. So that's why you get a sense of happiness being around things, I'm pretty sure most people in this world, yo, they feel more satisfied with being outside instead of being inside a box 24/8. That's what people, they can't stand being incarcerated and shit because they're in a box all day. But not you though, because you are stepping out of that every day, yo, because you chose to rise than to be stuck. Don't share this, and don't tell nobody your problems, yo. Fight them head on. And once you are successful with it, You will thank yourself because you didn't need to tell nobody, y'all. You know, most people in this world don't care about you. They only want to see you stop or fail. Let me tell that from example, y'all. Not because I told anybody, but because I see how people treated others once they had a vision for them. So, some words of encouragement I would like to share with you before I hop off this video. Well, if nobody is gonna believe in you, well, that's why you have all the power in the world to never stop, because your life stops when you leave this world. You haven't left yet, so you have a purpose so much more reasonable and, driven. That's exactly why it's not time for you to leave this world yet. You may think it by coincidence, but no, there's something that you must fulfill before you are set into the night skies, y'all. But not everybody's gonna get this. Only the wisest and the people that actually have a mind for themselves are gonna watch this late at night, because remember, y'all, the world, it depends on you, y'all. The world isn't a walking entity like you. The world is just the foundation to which you are living on. So, think of, the world like your house. You want your house to be cleaned. You want it to be, a place to where when people come in it, because your house is a representation of who you are within. So, if you have a dirty house, people are not they're gonna look at you differently because you're not clean, or you're not showing any love about you, because you don't love your reality around you. With the world, y'all, all it wants is to show that you care, give back to the planet, y'all. Not necessarily, the grass was never supposed to be cut, y'all, because the grass, everything around it was once a jungle. That's why they speak about Tarzan's, y'all. But I'm just reminding you now, just get around nature, appreciate it more often, y'all. If you gotta use the restroom and shit, get back to the realm, so the world can get back to you, and you will see that. But I'll see you on the next video, family. Protect your energy and don't give up out here, y'all, because people are waiting for you. Like I say, to get to the next, stone of greatness, or they're waiting for you to fall. Either or, y'all. You want to make everybody feel like they don't matter. Everybody out here is a piece of the grass, y'all, compared to the world, y'all. So it don't matter what anyone thinks. Just study yourself and keep going, y'all.